So if you guys have been keeping up with the Crisis on Earth 1 videos Techosaurus has been rolling out, you should know there's a ton of new stuff that he and some of the other guys working on the game, Ganon, Noah Cody, Karazor, Ralph, some guy named Galva, all those guys, they've all been adding stuff like new running animations and lightning effects, combat mechanics, characters. I mean, there's so much new stuff going on here. And because we've been seeing all this cool new stuff, I wanted to talk to everybody working on the game and kind of see what makes them tick, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to get a little bit more behind the scenes of the game, see what goes into making some of the stuff we've seen in all those update videos, while also maybe getting some new details about the game for you guys, which I did, and it's so cool. So look, I don't want to waste any more time here. Let's go behind the scenes and see what all's been going on with Crisis on Earth 1 and Arrowverse fan game. So the first thing I wanted to figure out was why Techo even bothered making this game in the first place. I mean, yeah, he could have just been a hardcore Arrowverse fan for all I knew, but even just looking at that first video, I felt like there was more going on there than just, I like these shows, let me make a game on it. Turns out I was right, because Techo told me that his initial inspiration actually came from, funny enough, the canceled Flash game Bottle Rocket was working on back in 2008. You remember that one, right? Long story short, a company named Bottle Rocket was putting together a video game based on the Flash, but they had to shut things down after the publisher, Brash Entertainment, folded in late 2008. It looked okay, I don't know if it would have been the greatest thing ever, but as it turns out, the cancellation had a big impact on Techo, who said, "I was sad to see that a game outside Batman was cancelled. I was in so much need for a Flash game and I couldn't be bothered waiting, so I said, f it, I'll do it myself." And do it he did.
What?
With a little time and some hard work, Techo was able to put together the initial announcement video that we all saw a few months ago. Side note, it's almost impossible to believe that we've come so far since that first video, going from this to this.
And with motion blur, the phasing doesn't look as retarded.
Yes! That's awesome!
Anyways, like I said earlier, if you kept up with Techo's update videos or the game's official Discord, which you absolutely should, links in the description like usual, you'll know there's a ton of new stuff that they've been working on putting in the game, one of which is the beginnings of a campaign mode. According to Techo, a lot of dead villains and heroes are supposed to come back during the game's story, which I guess makes sense, since we've seen characters like Savitar running around in the update videos, with Karazor clarifying by saying that even though they can't confirm how the characters are coming back yet, they can say that the main villain of the game is a demon. I guess that's why they've been so keen on getting Constantine worked into the game, right? Now, I honestly have no idea what this demon is or what it's supposed to do, but I do know that right now it's a completely new character, so we really have nothing to go off of as far as who it is yet. That having been said, even though a demon is supposed to be the bad guy and a whole bunch of characters are getting crammed into the story's actually supposed to be a little more character driven, with Kara stating, "It's very important to us that despite the game's large scale, the conflict with the villain remains personal. We don't want to have just some random one-note world-ending threat, so we're spending a lot of time with how he'll relate to the heroes and how fighting him will affect them." Other parts of the game are coming along pretty well too, like the game's art and design. For example, remember how we saw in the second update video that you could travel to each Earth in the multiverse if you wanted to? Remember how the cities on each Earth look pretty much exactly the same? Well, I found out there are plans to make the cities on each Earth look more like the ones we've seen in the shows. Everybody I talked to for the video spent a lot of time telling me how Star City specifically will be modeled accurately to the show, based on some maps and stuff used and seen during Arrow. Kara actually goes into a little bit of detail about this, stating, "We found maps of Star City in the show and I made one based on that exactly, so the footprint of the city matches that in the show exactly. We're taking buildings from Philadelphia to provide some landmarks, as they use that for exterior shots in the show, as well as Palmer Tech and such." Now, I didn't hear anything about any other prominent locations that we've seen in the show so far, like Star Labs, the Catco building on Earth 38, or even the monorail we always had to see for some reason whenever we got a sweeping shot of Earth 2, but I imagine that they'll be included if each Earth is getting its own unique style. Hell, even the menus are supposed to be stylized, with Kara stating, "As far as design in the games goes, meaning menus and HUDs and stuff, my idea is to make everything simple and sleek. I don't want any cumbersome menus and bars and ridiculous colors and fonts." I asked if that meant something like the Arkham menu design was going to be used, and Kara said yes, explaining that the menus were going to be something that looked high-tech, but with simple elements that would fade into the background when they weren't needed. That sounds pretty cool. I can't wait to see an Arrowverse version of the Arkham series menu. Personally, I'm hoping it leans more towards Arkham City than any of the other ones, just because I really like that game the most out of the series, but that's just me. Kara also went on to talk about the way the art in the game is leaning more towards the style comic books tend to utilize, like the larger-than-life heroes, the colorful, easy-to-identify villains, etc., stating, "It's very important to me that things feel large and colorful. To me, that's what makes it heroic. So for the art of the game, I want to capture the designs and look of the shows, but translate it into a more comic book presentation. That means more saturated colors and perhaps exaggerated physiques. In the interest of time, I'm also going to try to look to simplify the drawings a bit to make things easier on myself. My ideal goal is to give the game a unique but recognizable aesthetic. aesthetic. Speaking of style, that reminds me, I gotta show you guys some of the new stuff Teco gave me. First up, this new screen accurate Wally West model. Looks pretty cool, right? I'd hope so, because there's a ton of work that goes into making these super accurate models. As Gannon explained it, one of the best ways to model is to find some reference photos of the actor/actress's face and head and start building points from there. Noah went into a little bit more detail, explaining that he starts by making a base model in Fuse and then importing that into Blender to add more detail, while modeling the head starts with a base that gets more detail based on whatever reference pictures he can find, as well as the projection painting process. Now, it's definitely impressive to see how much time and effort goes into making these models, but there's one more thing Teco showed me that I have to talk to you guys about. And seriously, this is fucking awesome. Are you guys ready to see this? That's right guys, your eyes aren't tricking you. Teco is working on a VR minigame. Seriously, how cool is that? Now, I don't know all the details on this game just yet, but I do know a couple basic details. For one thing, the minigame is not set in the main Crisis on Earth 1 game he and everybody else are putting together, so don't worry if you don't have a VR headset, it's not required for the main game. Actually, Teco told me that this game really doesn't have anything to do with the main game at all. It's just a separate project he's putting together, which means it could come out way sooner than Crisis on Earth 1. Right now, the game just involves you as the Flash running around the city, but it's apparently going to include a few missions and a few more characters. All in all, it kind of sounds like Arkham VR, just without being canon to the main game. Either way, I seriously can't wait to check it out when it's available. But anyways, that's what all's been going on behind the scenes with the Crisis on Earth 1 game recently. As always, if you guys like this video, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out the game's Discord. And if you're looking to contribute, there's still a couple areas that really need more support. For one thing, there's a behind the voice actors page set up for auditions, so if you happen to have an account, maybe you could head over there and upload some clips, or at least help spread the link in the description around, whatever works best for you. And programmers are currently a must, so if you happen to know how to code, head over to the game's Discord. Seriously, we need like a ton of programmers here. Anyways, with that, I will see you guys next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.